morning, everybody. My name is Brock Zevan. I'm a life coach, a business coach, a real estate agent, and a dad. And I'm just very honored to be able to be back here this morning. Great job yesterday with Greg being on here this Friday. We got Christian coming on. Going to Nashville. I'm a very big believer that you got to surround yourself, your environment allows you growth, allows you opportunities. I shared with you at the very end yesterday a little bit about your environment is conducive to your growth. And Steve Harvey was talking about placing an oak seed into a potting plant or one of those little pots. And I promise you, I don't think that oak tree can grow as much it could as if we plant it in a deep in the soil. And so I'm very, very strong in believing that you got to surround yourself with people who you aspire, people you want to become. And so this Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be going to Nashville with my coach. He's a very successful national motivator, speaker, influencer, inspiring a lot of people. And so I've hooked up with him and I get to spend some quality time with him and learning and growing. So I'm really excited about that opportunity to be with him. So thank you, Greg and Christian, for switching things up this week. So as we begin, for those that are on here this morning, we just love the opportunity to be able to come with you all across the country, each and every morning, Monday through Friday, talk about concepts, talk about what motivates you, what inspires you, what gets you going, what gets you fired up, what I believe in, what I think that helps people grow. I'm all about relationships and growing and helping people at a very, very high level, as well as understand life has its changes, life has its challenges, life has its issues. And yesterday, for those that saw my Facebook post, Bryce was out of school yesterday. So I had a balanced Bryce boy yesterday, and we had a really good time. I even had to bring in Wendy because I really needed some extra help because what I had going on. And I'm just very, very blessed. I was able to, I put a post out on this furniture that we had on a short side note. And a lot of times when I'm selling homes and sellers don't want to have they're like, I don't know what to do with it. I said, do you mind if I have it? And they're like, what? And I said, I like to give it to charity. I can give it to families that need it a lot more than obviously this situation. So yesterday I was very blessed to be able to help a family. Her kids were sleeping on an air mattress. And she reached out to me and just said, Brock, you have no idea what this bed means to me and this end table, to be able to give them sheets, give them a comforter. We take for granted, guys. And we have to understand that people in this world, in this society, don't have all that we have, or we're fortunate. And so I share with you gratitude. I share with you an opportunity that I was able to have yesterday to help this single mother. She was in a very challenging relationship and she's got little kids, and to be able to give them a bed, man, I tell you, it blew me out of the water on my heart. And to be able to have Bryce help me and Wendy to be able to do it. And it was so hot yesterday, but to be able to have that fulfillment of being able to help that, it didn't matter how hot it was. So just a feel good story I wanted to start off with today. So I want to get into the conversation that I wrote out there today. You become what you say to yourself. Okay. You become what you say to yourself. Brian Tracy says, what you think about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. Many times we're our worst critic. Many times in our lives, I'm fat. I'm slow. I'm poor. I have this problem. I have this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not any different than you. Okay. I was looking at some pictures and they say this, not like we all look at our self-image. And we all look at us, oh gosh, I could really tone myself up. I could really do this. Like we need to change that mentality. And I say that because it's like, well, okay, Brock, that sounds really simple. That sounds really easy, because it's not. It's not really easy. It's very challenging to be able to change the way that we think about ourselves and that about our environment, about the people. And that's why I think it's so very important to surround yourself with quality people. That's why I think like having a consultant, having a coach, having an accountability partner is so very important, because we understand that life is not going to go the way that we want every single. Do you think I was having a blissful time when I'm dripping sweat before I was able to talk to this lady? And Bryce is like, I love him to death, but he's driving me crazy. And I'm going up 3 flights of stairs where this condo is. Okay. Now, I didn't have any profanity, but inside my head, I'm like, Bryce, please get out of my way. And like, I'm trying to go through this. So like at that point, I'm not in the most mindset position if somebody asked me a challenging question. But here's why I put this out to you. And some of you have already heard this story, but I think it's very important. And I think it's always one of those that, and I know I've listened to Chris many times on his stories and what he's got going on. And so I shared this with you guys that I really want, for those that have heard this before, just hear me out. Okay. So I want you to imagine yourself that somebody gave you the seed. Okay. And this seed is a Chinese bamboo tree. Okay. And they give you this seed and they say, hey, once you have this, let me just tell you, this is the most magnificent, beautiful tree in the world, and you're going to love it. It's going to be great. And you're going to say, okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much. And then they're going to say to you, but here's the thing. Okay. You need to water it every day for 5 years. Excuse me? Wait, what do I have to do? Yeah, you have to water this thing every day for 5 years. But let me just tell you, it's going to be amazing when you get it. And so you plant this in the front of your yard because that's the best place for you to be able to show everybody this magnificent, beautiful bamboo tree that you are going to have. And you go out there. And how many of us inside of our minds, when we get a new idea or something comes into play and everything's beautiful, and we go and we dig a hole and we plant that seed, we put dirt over it, and we might even go to the store and put some fertilizer on, and we are just having a good old time, and we're watering that thing. And in the beginning, the watering is not a problem, right? But then all of a sudden, when you're watering it, you happen to be watering in the evening time. And I know Charlie, he's a morning person, so he might water it in the morning, but you're watering it. But you're watering it, and people are walking around, and people might be doing their morning walk, and people might be doing their evening walk, and people are like, hey, man, what are you doing? Oh, I'm watering this bamboo tree. It's going to be beautiful. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I got to wait a little bit of time, though. But let me just tell you, I hear it's going to be magnificent. Wow, that sounds amazing. And so Christian comes walking around, and he's like, hey, man, you've been watering that tree for a while. It's been about a year. Nothing's showing up. Yeah, I was told it takes 5 years. No, seriously, 5 years? Man, I wouldn't do that. That sounds stupid. That sounds like a crazy idea. I know, but I don't know. Like, I just want to do it. I'm really excited about it. And we're still having that energy because in our brains, we're thinking about this is going to be a beautiful tree. We get to year 2. We get to year 3. Now, freaking, it's like there's more Christians getting some friends over. He's like, Amy, come on over here. Greg, come over here. Listen to this guy. Like, he's like, don't say anything. We're hey, Brock, how are you? How's that tree going, bud? Like, I know, guys, it's coming. I don't know. Like, Brock, seriously, who told you that in 5 years it's gonna, like, now the ridiculing, like inside of our brain, like, we're not feeling the same way we did in the first year, right? How many of us would feel the same exact way in year 3 as we did that first week, right? How many of us out there, I know Mike Kastner out there, Mike the man, be like, hey, Brock, I know you got some good mental strength there, bud, but seriously, we're coming on year 4. It's nothing, right? We get to year 4.5. We get to the end, and the end's the hardest part. I was telling somebody about like price improvements and everything else, and you might be like, what the hell does this have to do with anything, Brock? It's very easy to do price improvements. It's very easy to lose weight in the beginning of a diet. I got to lose 30 pounds. The first 20, boom, done. It's that last 10. The last 10 that makes us work for. The last 10 that makes us say, I don't know, 20 pounds is good enough. Maybe I don't really need to do 30. It's that 5th year you get to that watering of the tree. It's that 5th year when everything now inside of our brains, what we think about, we become about, is not really fitting it because I'm not seeing anything. And everybody else is telling us this isn't going to work. I'm in that moment right now. because I've been digging and trying and going and working this. And now I got to go to Nashville and I'm trying to get inspired. And I got my kids and I'm supposed to do this. And I'm trying to get my mom to help me. I'm trying to get Wendy and I got to coordinate this. And it's not really working out. I got a lot of business. Where am I supposed to go? It costs me money because I have to pay for all these distractions, right? They start to come inside your head. Maybe I shouldn't go. I mean, it's expensive. I mean, hell, I didn't know just going to freaking Nashville would be so expensive to fly. Then I got to get a hotel. Then I got to get food. Oh my gosh, I'm only there for 36 hours. That's an expensive 36 hours for me to be there, to run back over here. And all this stuff starts coming inside of our head. And then at the very moment, I don't know what it is yet because it hasn't happened to me yet, but I just know and I believe that bamboo plant is going to grow. And it does on the 5th year. At some point on the 5th year, it grows. And it grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. 90 feet in 6 weeks it grows. So the question becomes when people come back over to see you, hey, man, finally started growing. That actually looks pretty nice. You just got really lucky. So no. I didn't get lucky at all because you weren't saying how lucky I was in year 2, 3, and 4. Now you just like it because you can come here and it's this beautiful tree and it gives you shade and it smells amazing. So the question becomes, the bamboo tree grow in 6 weeks or did it grow in 5 years and 6 weeks? And the thing is, we all know the answer. It's 5 years and 6 weeks. Because if we didn't water that, if we didn't deal with those challenges, if we stopped at any moment, if we didn't put in the 1%, it doesn't grow. And maybe we stop for a couple months. And maybe it grows, but does it grow to its full potential? What we think about inside of our head today will affect us later down the road. Will affect us in some capacity. At any given point, today I didn't want to do my journal. I looked at my journal 3 times today. 3 times. I don't like to write. I don't enjoy it. Reading and writing are not my, get me out of bed, let me go attack the day. They're not my 2 number 1 things. But I know I have to do them. In order for me to grow and do what I want to do, I have to read, I have to educate myself so I can share with you what authors are saying. I could share with you quotes. I could share with you top people who are successful in this country, in this world, from Earl Nightingale. I was talking to my dad the other day about Earl Nightingale. He looked at me, he goes, who? He goes, I haven't heard that name. Earl Night, you're reading him? I said, yeah, he was a very, very smart person in the 1960s. I had no idea. His same thought process in the 1960s is the same thing I use today in 2022. Same thing. Google him, YouTube him, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this guy was brilliant. How many people made fun of him back then? But I study him. I look at him. Jim Rohn. Christian talked about him the other day. Brian Tracy. All these people, you have opportunity, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, but I have to do it every day. So when I didn't want to do my journal today, I was like, Brock, you're going to have to do your journal. And I go back to the table and then I'd be like, I don't have time. I got to get this ready. I can go back to the table and then I come up with another excuse. I finally did it. But that's that 5-year thing that came in my head by bamboo tree. That bamboo tree was right there. Brock, you're going to have to do this. So, today, I encourage you, whatever challenge you have, I want you to write down on your notes, bamboo tree, Chinese bamboo tree. And I want you to think about it and just do the bare minimum today. Do the 1% that you need to do. And I want you to think about it because when you think about it, you bring about it. That's all I can tell you. That's what they say. So I do it. I wish I had some sort of better philosophy for you, a better scheme, a better strategy. No, get up on the other side of the bed and the world's totally different. Just stop getting on that. Just go to the other side. No, that doesn't work either. I've tried that. Okay. From experience, I really tried that. I was like, well, maybe if I get on the other side. No, same thing. Guys, anybody have anything they'd like to share? Any questions they have about the Chinese bamboo tree or something that they want to present to me, a question or something that came to them while I was talking? Go ahead. I'll open it up. If anybody's got a response.
I'll say, Brock, I something that you said made me think of a little book called The Art of Preaching to Yourself. And as you're talking about Earl Nightingale and all the various motivational people that we've listened to, we have to put those things in our mind every day, and they will regurgitate. They will come back at us. And I heard something a long time ago that when you read the Bible, you really should read it out loud so that you're speaking it and you're hearing it. You're involved. So look in the mirror every morning and practice the art of preaching to yourself, telling yourself what you need for that day. I believe it works.
Absolutely. No, it's so true. When I read, I have to have two main components. Okay. I have to audio. I have to have the book, and I also have to have a pen in my hand, because the pen is the most important thing, because I underline, I make notes in my books, I circle things, I go back to it, because I also was told that I have to, when I read these books, I'm going to reread them at some point. They tell you that you should read a book at least 2 to 3 times, because you're in different seasons of your life. Where I was 4 years ago is much different than where I am today. And so it's a unique feeling to go back and be like, man, I mean, some of the stuff I read today that I've already reread, I'm like, why did I underline that? Like, what was I thinking at that time? I mean, it's my underlining at the time period I was going through whatever I was going through, but it's like I can reflect and go back like, oh gosh, that's right. I remember that. And I get to use that as a growing moment. And so I love that. I wrote down the book, The Art of Preaching to Yourself. So thank you so much, Pamela, for sharing that today. One of the
I just had a really quick comment too on that, and what I really like what Pamela said. And then one of the things that for me that I take from that, because you said earlier that, it's about the thoughts in your head, the things that you are saying to yourself. So it really doesn't matter what you're planting in the ground. If you don't have a solid ground, a solid soil, that nothing is going to grow. So you have to think about, if you're going to be trying to change, you have to change from the beginning within yourself or the ground that you're standing at, because you can't put bamboo, you can't plant anything in rocky soil or nothing that's going to either take root and grow. Water it or not. If you're if the ground, if the soil is not set, ready to grow, then you're not going to grow. So there has to be a starting point. And the starting point is, like you said, surrounding yourself with others. Getting rid of all the negativity, because you can't plant something in a negative ground. You just can't do it. It won't grow. If it does, it'll die quickly. That's
absolutely good stuff. Thank you for sharing that, Greg. Anybody else got anything or a question or anything they would like to add? One of the things to set the stage for tomorrow, I'm going to bring it back since I'm going to be on Thursday. We haven't done this in a while. We're going to do Stump the Chump tomorrow. So I'm going to challenge you to write down an objection, a problem. For those that know my resume comes from anywhere from my IRS debt of $153,000 with taxes, to cars repossessed, to alcoholism, to addiction, to handling objections and FSBOs, expireds, to building a team, hiring people. So whatever objection you have, whatever industry you are in, I was working with literally somebody last night about them starting a business as a laundromat. And they called me up and asked me some questions like, Brock, do you do commercial real estate? I said, no, but I do business in consulting. So let's talk a little bit about that. And so we had a really good conversation. So it really could be anything, any industry you're in. I'm going to be doing Stump the Chump tomorrow. We'll bring it back since I'm going to be on Thursday and Christian's moving to Friday. So write down your question. Bring on somebody that's got a question. Like, listen, I know somebody you can stump. Let's give him a call. So definitely feel free to be on here tomorrow as we do Stump the Chump and have that conversation. And so got some good, yes, I was just looking at some of the stuff on Facebook here. So great stuff for those that are on here. I appreciate you sharing. Guys, if you like this, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me if this is something that resonates with you, like I always say, it engages as a coach. It helps us out to be able to grow because we want to make sure we're pouring in value. One of the biggest things that we talk about here is being able to help other people grow. I love it when people text me, call me, direct message me, whatever it might be. Greg says something to me, Christian says something to me. Those that are on here and speaking, Pamela, I appreciate you sharing. I know you're brand new to the call. Love having you. I got a couple people who reached out to me yesterday, said, "Hey, Brock, I'd like to be able to do this." I'm all about consistently good is better than being occasionally great. In order to be consistently good, you got to show up every day. You got to make face. You got to show up. You got to face your fears. You got to overcome it with faith. Those are the key ingredients. So just being here is just part of it, guys. And that's the greatest thing. And so share it with others. And I appreciate all the hearts and the likes and the thumbs up. It really inspires me to keep doing what I do. So Sherry, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sharon, thank you.
Hey, can I have a little testimony from yesterday. Can I?
Yeah.
I share?
Go ahead.
I don't know that you heard this, but I have a house that I'm showing right now. It's a 1.6 house in Houston. And I was explaining to everybody, it needs 1.6 worth of work, but it's a fantastic area and a great half an acre lot size in the middle of Houston, which is a rarity. So the photos online have been doctored. And so when people come in, they're surprised. So Kristen offered such great info to me yesterday and said, sell the vision. So I met my clients outside and I explained to them, the house does not look like what you're expecting, but this is an incredible property. The backyard is park-like. I went on and they walked in with knowing what to expect. I'm meeting them tomorrow with a contractor at the house.
Wow.
And it really is, Christian, because of your words yesterday, that my mindset changed. So I just wanted to tell you all I appreciate it. And it was great timing.
Awesome. Yes, that is so cool. And that's what this call is all about. I do a prayer call with Justin Ford. We do in the mornings at 7:30, and then we follow it up with a mindset call. And so it's great, like the different conversations and the networking that we meet on here and the people that are on Facebook and the recordings and all this stuff. That's what it's about, helping people out, grow their business in some capacity. And like, also, here's the other thing, and then I'll end it on this. Because your problem is at 2:00 in the afternoon doesn't mean you have to wait till 8:15 to bring it to our attention. That's why we have the Facebook group and why I encourage people, go on the Facebook group. Greg just got a listing the other day and shared his success. I saw because I'm a very big advocate of like, I like to, as soon as I get my listing, I like to take a picture of it and I like to send it to the team. That's a success story. That's cheering people on. That's like giving people high fives in this world because we can't be around each other in a team type of environment like we are like at soccer practice with my daughter. But that's the thing. So I love your testimonial. Thank you, Christian, for sharing that. That's what it's all about on here. And that makes me feel good, knowing what we're bringing together. And the vision is to being able to do that. Like every day there's new people coming to our Facebook group. I'm literally like 2 months ago, we had 3 people. And today I just looked at it, we're close to 200. And so it's just a great feeling to be able to help other people. And it's all to you guys and to being able to share and ask questions. So thank you so much for sharing that, Pamela. I really do appreciate that. Facebook World, thank you for being on here today. Remember, Facebook World, you always can join us on the Zoom, so you can listen in a little bit more on some of what we got going on throughout the day, some of the stuff that we go in a little bit more with the team, our conversations, a little bit more of what I do during the day. So for those that want to be more involved, to be able to hear my chaotic mess that I got going on, but it makes me who I am. Feel free to come join us on Zoom. Don't forget tomorrow, Stump the Chump, 8:15. So Facebook World, have a great day and we'll talk to everybody soon.